everyone, welcome to another Care Collab video. This time I have teamed up with two other channels, Attainable Green and Ninja Orchids. The three of us will be featuring Paphiopedilum Delenatii, a very charming species. The purpose of these Care Collab videos, which are posted on the same day by two or more channels, is to show everybody how the same orchid is grown in different parts of the world, in different environments and setups. Hopefully the information and care tips provided in these videos will be helpful for many of us now or later. Links to the videos of Ninja Orchids and Attainable Green will be mentioned in the description of this video. Paphiopedilum Delenatii is a native orchid of Vietnam with highly attractive floral traits. Unfortunately, that is the reason why it is now listed as a critical endangered species, with only a few hundred individuals remaining in the natural habitats, and that is due to overcollection and habitat destruction. This species is a small-sized. It's warm to cool growing, meaning it can adapt to a wide range of temperatures. In the wild, it is found growing in broadleaf evergreen lowland forests or primary highland cloud forests, and they live in slightly acidic soils on granite slopes above rivers and streams. They live in partial shade at elevations of 750 to 1500 meters. They grow as terrestrials. However, bear in mind, the roots are not in dirt. The roots find their way in the leaf litter deposited over the centuries and the mosses laying on the ground. They are also litophyte, as they can be found growing in rocky cliffs with the roots finding their way down mossy crevices. I searched and found some photos on the net that show this species growing in the wild on the granite slopes. I cannot post those photos here, but I'm leaving you the link in the description if you care to see how they grow. The whole habitat is subjected to fog from fall to winter, with heavy rain in the summer. So, can you imagine how much humidity this plant is used to in its natural habitat? These plants produce 1 or 2 flowers per stem in late winter or spring months. That's what I have here on my plant. I bought this orchid quite recently. It was in bud at the time, and I'm only responsible for keeping the buds ship-shape and able to bloom. I hope I can take it to bloom next season. This bloom opened only a few days ago. They are lasting much longer than I anticipated. Look over there. There is a fly trapped in the older bloom. Possibly it was too large as a pollinator. I like these flowers. They are so cute and delicate. I like the shape of the pouch and the little spots inside. The whole flower is sort of furry, but we can see that better in the stem, the red stem. Very, very furry. This species also has these lovely mottled leaves. They make such an attractive foliage. A nice feature when the plant isn't blooming. This plant needs repotting, but I will wait till the blooming is done. This one is a standard form with white petals and the pink pouch, but they come in different color forms, like a dark form called vinicolor, which has a deeper reddish colored pouch. And there is an albine variety that is pure white. And the rarest of them all is the semi-albiform, which has a green flower stem and a very light pink coloration in the pouch. This is a warm to cool grower, adapting to an average temperature range. I am growing this orchid at home together with my other Paphiopedilum. I know this plant would benefit from the air circulation around the roots, but I better be careful with the light outdoors, which can be quite high, even in shadier spots. Taking in consideration their native habitat, it is recommended to grow this plant in a shady to semi-shady environment, and maybe a little bit of early morning sun. This species needs very high humidity, around 75 to 80% most of the year, which I will not have during summer for sure. I guess she will have to adapt, and I might help by misting a bit between waterings on drier periods. To simulate the conditions of the native habitat where it rains heavily during all summer, this plant should be watered well during the hottest period of the year, but not keep it too damp. Ideally, this orchid should be kept evenly moist. Some say the plant should be allowed to dry out between waterings for most of the year, but not remain dry for any length of time. During fall and winter, watering should be reduced and fertilizer eliminated, and this is important in order to induce flowering. Fertilizing should be low to avoid salt buildup on the roots. They enjoy moisture and air around the root system, so containers should be filled with a loose, free-draining substrate that maintains moisture but does not absorb water for a long time. Interesting to know that this Paphiopedilum grows better if moss is added to the substrate, because sphagnum moss increases the acidity of the medium, similar to the acidic conditions of the habitat. I never used moss mixed with bark, exactly because it breaks down the bark faster and turns the medium acidic. But this time I will have to make an exception. So when I repot, I will add just a little bit of moss, considering it will be beneficial to the growth of this Paphiopedilum. However, always bearing in mind that not only the moss but also the frequent watering will break down the potting media over the period of 1 year, so repotting with fresh substrate every year is only beneficial to the plant. Repotting is best done immediately after flowering, when new roots begin to grow, and the substrate should be regularly rinsed and flushed to prevent the excess of salts. This is all I can think of to say about this species at the moment. I hope these information will be of help to you at some point. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch, and I want to say that your comments will be highly appreciated. Take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will meet again soon.